Hi, I here. This is a reading for the sign of Cancer. We're going to do a Celtic cross spread with the Thoth deck, and then we're going to pull 3 cards from the Shadow deck to see if there's any other background emotions or energies or any confirmations that we need that didn't come up in the main reading. So let's just see what happens. Alright, so this is a reading for the sign of Cancer. If that is your rising sign, your sun, your moon, wherever that sits in your chart, use that as a way, if you wish, to interpret this reading. Or if you just want to get a sense of what's going on with the Cancers out there in the world, that's fine too. As always, use your judgment to determine what these messages should mean to you. If there are any things that come out as I place these cards on the table that you personally feel or see or think, use your own judgment to determine for yourself what that message should be. Even if you disagree with maybe my interpretation, maybe I say not enough or too much about what you think these cards are saying, that's fine. Let these cards resonate with you. Remember, tarot is first and foremost a self-reflective exercise, so whatever messages you need to see or hear or think on, always use your personal judgment, okay? Never try to make things fit. Alright, so I hope you're doing well today. If you're watching this in the morning, I hope you have a good rest of your day. If you're watching this in the evening, I hope that your day has gone well so far. Even if you're watching in the morning, I hope your day has gone well so far. I'm just wishing you a good day with whatever portions you have had or have left. So, alright, so let us get a reading for Cancer. Let's do one more shuffle here. There we go. Alright, so let's just see what we get. Okay, that feels good. Alright, tell us what messages we need for the sign of Cancer. Look at that. The Universe, the World card, crossed by the 6 of Wands. That looks pretty good. Preceded by the 7 of Wands and followed by the 9 of Wands. That's some powerful fire energy there. Here in our unconscious energy, we have the 8 of Swords. A little blockage there, perhaps. The crowned at the top there, in our conscious energy, we have the Knight of Discs. We have the Knight of Swords and our general energy. In our environment, we have the Hanged Man. And what we are worried about, or what is our challenge, we have the 10 of Cups. And over here, we have the 4 of Wands in the likely outcome. So we're going to see what's on the bottom of the deck, but let's wait to see what the rest of this spread is telling us first. What was on the bottom of this deck will be, again, what we are not seeing coming. But let's see what is actually in front of us before we confirm that. So, okay, let's see. What do we have here in terms of just general numbers? We've got 2 major arcana cards, the Universe and the Hanged Man. So that's not so bad. It's pretty good. We've got 2 court cards. We have a Knight of Discs and a Knight of Swords. So the Fire of Earth and the Fire of Air. In terms of the minor arcana outside of the court cards, it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4 wands. So that's a decent bit of fire energy. And here, this is a lot. this is powerful here. In terms of water cups, we have 1. We have nothing from the suit of pentacles other than the Knight of Discs up there at the top. So not a lot of earth energy. And in terms of air energy, we have 1 with this court card here. So just 2 of those. So little light on the earth energy, but we do have a knight. But it's the knight, it's the fire of earth. So again, there's a lot of fire here. A lot of energy and you know, passion and just power kind of coming out, just not even looking closely at what's happening here. That's what just stands out to me, is this 7, 6, 9, 4, and then the knight up there. That's a lot. So let's sort of make sense of what's going on here. Let's see what everything says here. So here we have the Universe card, right? Here we have sort of culmination, the completion of something. I'm thinking that maybe some situation in your life is coming to some sort of head, or maybe there is some sort of new sort of new era opening up here. Something new is either opening or closing. So maybe this is the completion of something coming to fruition. I'm feeling more likely that this is something that's coming to fruition here. So yeah, whatever you have been sort of focusing on your life, I think it's finally kind of coming into its final stages and fully, becoming the ultimate form of what it's supposed to be. Maybe this is you. You've been working on some sort of project, and maybe you're finally culminating this to the final stages of completion, or maybe you're putting something into the world and you're expressing that outside of just you working on it. But something is coming to its final form, essentially. And it looks like this has been a great success for you. I mean, we literally have on top of this card the Six of Wands. This is the victory card. So I think you've been working really hard on something, and I think this is something that it wasn't necessarily always clear that this was going to work out, but you stood strong. You continued to fight for what you believed in, and you are now seeing the results of your work, and they are victorious. I think this is good. This is really positive right here. I like that. So whatever you've been working on, it is coming to some sort of completion in a successful manner, and it looks like here there may be some final last thing you need to do. So maybe whatever the project is, you've completed your part of that process, but maybe the actual putting it out into the world portion of it is going to require one final leg, one final test before this thing is wrapped up fair and square. So what we have down here in our unconscious energy, we have the Eight of Swords. Though this is the card of blockage, interference. So again, I think you are finishing something up. You're wrapping something up. I think it's going very well, but maybe you're almost concerned. Maybe the last leg here, the final thing that you need to get through to really complete this entire project, is not actually something that is holding you back externally, but maybe you're just afraid to let go of finally walking away from this thing that you've put so much energy and time and effort into. I'm getting a sense that this is something you've worked really hard on. You felt very strongly about it, and you have been successful by sticking to your guns and putting the effort in to make it happen, but I think that you are somewhat reluctant to finally finish the project and move on. So I think that's what this 9 here is, instead of a 10 here of actually, like, the universe to me is saying completion, but I don't think, again, I'm feeling like maybe you've worked on something and you've completed it. It's lived up to what you wanted it to be, and now you need to let go of it. Like a mother letting her baby birds leave the nest, and maybe being in a position of being a little concerned of not wanting to let go of that stage, even though it's been successful, it's gone well. I feel like there's a little bit of resistance of thinking like, well, so much of my life has been dedicated to doing this project or working on this thing or caring for these people. I don't know that I really want to go on to this next final stage. I don't know if I want to be victorious and show off my accomplishments, because once I do that, and then what, right? But you've got the Knight of Discs up here at the top. I think whatever this project was, you have learned a lot of skills. You've learned a lot of how to be creative and productive, and you are feeling good about what you've made. And I don't think you should be so much concerned with what's the next thing going to be, because I think you're a capable enough person. I think you are this Knight of Discs that you've mastered these skills, and so even though the next project may not be on your desk, and you may be concerned that it may not be as good of a project, I think it's going to be successful if you are, take some more of that Seven of Wands energy of realizing that I'm good enough to do this, and use that energy to fuel yourself as the Knight of Discs, and face bravely whatever the next challenge is. Okay, don't be afraid to let go of this project now that it really has come to completion. Don't sabotage yourself by realizing I don't want to let go of this, and so at the last minute, tripping before you cross the finish line. Don't do that. So that's what I'm getting from there. Here we have the Knight of Swords. This is your general energy. Again, I think you are trying to get away from thinking yourself into a corner here. I think that you, again, are very successful in the project that you have completed, but you are letting your thoughts get the better of you, and rather than trusting that this is really going to be what you want to put out there, I think there's a part of you that is a little resistant because you don't want to let go of whatever this thing is. And I think you know that you need to. I think you feel pretty good. I mean, the Knight of Swords, he knows what he's doing. He's not a fool. He is not a page. He's not a Rider-Waite style knight. This would be the equivalent of the King of Swords. This is someone who has the clarity of thought, but again, maybe is letting thought get the best of him. Maybe he is being overrun by his thoughts more so than his actions. He may know the right path, but may not be willing to necessarily put it into action. But it is a knight still. I mean, you've got the Knight of Discs and the Knight of Swords. So even though you are apprehensive and you are sort of trapping yourself a little bit with letting go of the final completion of this project, there is still some spinning wheels that are kind of making you a little bit anxious, I think. And that's why I think in your environment, you are in a hanged man position where it's not so much that you are not going to let this thing go, but you are in a sort of suspended moment of looking back at everything you've accomplished and trying to get perspective. I think you really need the emotional freedom to be able to let go of this. You've got the power with and passion with the wands. You have the skills with the earth. You have your thoughts are clearly not necessarily wrong. I mean, it is sad that you're going to have to let go of something you cared about for so long. What is lacking here is the emotional side of this, the strength to be able to realize emotionally that I have to let this go now that it's come to its full completion here. And so you are sitting in a spot of just thinking back on where you've been and what you need to do and trying to gain that perspective. I think trying to intellectually be able to let go of this, when in reality what you really need is some emotional closure. To be able to finally have the strength to let go of this. You can be as passionate and as powerful and intellectual as you want. At the end of the day, letting go of something does require an emotional component as well. There's an emotional strength that you need. And this is why I think you are worried and afraid with your challenge is the Ten of Cups. I think letting go of this is making you feel afraid that you're going to feel empty if you let go of it. But I don't. They say, if you love something, let it go. I think that's what's happening here. I think your lack of emotional connection with what you're doing, or maybe not lack of emotional connection, but your fear that you're going to feel emotionally empty after you let this go, that you're letting go of a potential Ten of Cups moment. Like maybe you are in your element when you're working on whatever this is, and you're afraid if you let go of it, then you're going to lose that. And I don't think you should be as concerned about that. That's an inevitability when all things must end, and you might as well try to have it end on a positive note. So don't try to intellectualize your way out of this situation. Try to get in touch with how you feel about this thing, and I think that'll give you the extra push you need, because you definitely got the power and the skills. The thing that's holding you back is your mind and your emotions. And your mind, as much as you think about it, is not going to make you feel that emotional closure. That comes from accepting your feelings and being realistic about how they make you actually feel, not how you think about them. Okay. Here in the likely outcome, we have the Four of Wands. So I think once you come to this final step of letting go of this project that you have completed, I think once you finish that final action, you're going to feel very good about what's going on. You're going to keep having some of that passion. I mean, we go from a 9 to a 4. That feels a little bit like a reduction. But again, I think what you are afraid of is the completion. So a reduction allows you then to start the process all over again and work on something new that you're going to feel really good about. And that's going to give you something to celebrate. Namely, the thing you can celebrate is whatever the next project is going to be, something new to put your passions in. Don't be afraid to let go of something once it's done, so that you can continue on your life path and do the next exciting thing that's ahead of you. So that's what I think is happening here. So that's not so bad. I mean, it's a little troubled here, but I think that if you just stick to working on yourself and coming to terms with the fact that you've done great things. Don't let the fact that they're ending, don't let that nostalgia sabotage you. Okay, don't let that keep you imprisoned. So let's see what we don't see coming. Six of Cups. Again, I think you're going to feel really good once you get past this final stage. I mean, it's sad. I mean, you're going to have empty nest syndrome or some version of it for whatever this is for you, but that's okay. That is going to bring with it new happiness as well. Again, you need more of this emotionality. You need more of this emotional energy to help you get through this final stage. You can't just push your way through it out of sheer force of will. Get in touch with how you feel about things, and I think you're going to end up in a good place. The completion that you're heading towards, I think, is going to be a very positive thing. I think you're just kind of worried about it right now, and I don't think it's a huge worry. I don't think this is like a life-changing thing. I mean, we've only got two major arcanas, though. I mean, the universe is a big one here. I really do think that this is just a final, like, when you're on vacation, that last couple days, you're just like, man, I'm having a good time, but I know it's ending soon, and that comes with a little bit of sadness, but don't let that ruin your ability to still enjoy what is actually still in front of you and what new things you have to do once you go on to the next thing. So yeah, that's pretty good. Let's see what we have in the shadow deck here. Let's pull 3 cards from here. So let's just see if there's any confirmations or extra feelings or anything else we should be aware of. This was pretty good. I liked this. This was a nice reading here. So let's just shuffle this a little bit. What else do we need to know? What else should Cancer be thinking about as we finish up this reading? Oh, let's try that again. Okay. We have the Fool, the Tower, and the 5 of Cups. Okay, yeah, okay, maybe this is bothering you more than I gave you credit for. So the Fool, maybe you are ignoring just how much this is getting to you, and you're trying to act all nonchalant, like, no, I'm cool, I'm great, I got this is good, I don't care. I finished it, I put my time in, and I feel happy and great about it. And I am just going to openly embrace whatever is coming next, and that's what you're telling yourself, and I don't think it's true because it's followed by the Tower. You are acting like you don't care, like whatever happens, happens, but at the end of the day, you are concerned about letting go of something. You've built your entire life around the work, or maybe not your entire life, but you've built a lot of your life around the work that is involved in completing this task. And now that it is coming to an end, you're realizing that the home that you live in, your emotional tower that you were in, is eventually going to have to come down. And if you're not willing to leave that tower, it's going to be taken away from you. And that's what's going to lead to a 5 of Cups, where you are going to spill one of your emotional cups and be left with a big mess of emotions in front of you. This is the crying over spilled milk card in some sense. Not in the sense of like crying over something that's not important, but like that's what I'm imagining here is we have our cups here, we have our emotions, and we're like, I'm good, I'm great, I've protected, I've done what I need to do, I feel good about it. But in reality, once you let go of this, you're concerned that you're going to feel an emotional emptiness that comes from losing some of the emotional energy that was in one of those cups. Normally the 5 of Cups in the Rider-Waite deck, you see a literal cup that has spilled, and that I think is your emotions being sort of, I mean, here we have the 6, which is so nice. This is positive energy. This is feeling good. This is also sometimes a card of nostalgia, though you don't see as much of that in this version here. I think that what you were concerned about is letting go of something that you've put so much time and energy in and feeling empty when it's no longer there. But I think you're going to look back and feel good about what you've done, not feel empty. I don't think you're going to end up in a feeling of 5 of Cups. I think you're going to end up, when this is all said and done, in an energy of 6 of Cups. But right now, your mind and your emotions are trapping you from finally finishing this project because you're acting like, oh, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good, when in reality you are very afraid of letting go and restructuring your life over whatever the next project is, and so you're concerned you're going to be left emotionally empty once you finish this thing. And I don't think that's what you should be concerned about, but I think it's what is bothering you right now. So think on that, see if maybe that helps you get through whatever you're dealing with. And so we'll close by seeing what's on the bottom of the shadow deck, and we have the Seven of Wands again. Stick to your guns. What you don't see coming is, I think, if you are holding strong to completing the work that you have said you were going to complete, continue to do what you love, continue to fight for the things that matter to you, maintain your ground emotionally, and I think you will find the fulfillment that you're afraid you're going to lose. I think new projects are going to come into your life, and even if they don't present themselves immediately, I think you are going to be the kind of person that's going to find the things to put your time and energy into. Just because you're letting this go doesn't mean there's not going to be something to fill its place as the next task. Just make sure that you are staying confident that whatever is next will come, and I think it will. I think you're going to go in a good place here. Don't sabotage yourself by being worried about, the final stages of whatever this might be. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good message. I hope that was helpful. I hope you enjoyed this, and like I said, I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I will see you next time.